These are things you need to start thinking about to increase that bottom line. We want to be better at business. This is how you do it. All right, friends, the Ultimate OD podcast. We are business owners. Business owners want to make money. We need to make more of it so we can have a bigger impact on our patients' lives. Yes, you can make money and be a great doctor. Let's delve into this. We have the closing thought of the episode. This is the Ultimate OD podcast. Here we go. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. I love talking to you guys every week. I say this every time I'm on, but this is cathartic for me. It helps me process my thinking. It helps me be better at what I do. And this is a very important episode because this is the point of business, right? We are in business to make money, right? I know you want to change the world. You want to have an impact on people's lives. But if you run a crappy business, if you don't make money, you don't have a business to impact people's lives to change their world. So we need to increase our revenues. Well, not revenues. Let me use the right terminology. We need to increase our net. We want to make money, but we need to keep more money. Something I heard in the past few months was top line revenue is a vanity metric. If you want to know if you're good at business, it's what you keep. It's your net. That's what matters. So I, myself, want to be good at business. If you're listening to this, I assume you want to be good at the business of optometry. Okay? So there's two ways to do what we're talking about to increase our net. Number one, decrease your expenses. Cost of goods sold, your expenses. This can only get you so far. Honestly, there's nominal increases that come from reducing your expenses. Okay? There's, like, if you look at your P&L, there's things that you can cut, but literally, I cut everything I possibly could, and I maybe save myself $2,000 a year, right? We run pretty efficiently. If you wanted to cut an expense to make a difference, you're cutting staff, and then you're depleting your product. So staff payroll is one of your biggest expenses. Not likely that you're going to make a big dent in the overall revenue long term by cutting that. So option two is you increase your revenue. 3 ways that we've talked about in the past: increasing the patients you're seeing, increasing the amount of every purchase, or increasing the frequency in which they make a purchase. Okay? You are going to make a much bigger impact on your bottom line by adjusting these 3 things. And this is awesome because in optometry, we have an unlimited amount of things to choose from. Increasing patients, you adjust your schedule, okay? You get a scribe, increase what your tech does, pass off refractions to techs, okay? Marketing can get more patients in there. A lot of levers to pull to increase the patients that you're seeing. All right, you get too far down that path though, and you're a turn and burn. You're gonna burn yourself out. There's only so much time in the day. So we don't want to do that. We don't want to wear ourselves out. Obviously, you got to maximize that efficiency. But you increase the purchase amount. How do you do that? Specialty services, IPL, ProCara, myopia management, Avalux glasses. There's a lot of things you can do as added features to your office that increase the amount of purchase. We love the things that insurance doesn't cover. Now, I will say the ProCara amniotic membranes, when used right, is something insurance does cover that can be very, very lucrative. Okay? Again, and it's helping patients. It's a win all around. IPL, lucrative, helps patients. Myopia management, all these things. Don't be the person, and if you're listening to this podcast, you're not the person. But don't be the person that is scared to make money. Okay? When I was at the P3 conference, one of the things that one of the doctors said that I just resonated wholehearted with me is that I can make a lot of money, but I can be the best possible doctor there is. I think you can do both, right? You wear different hats, you have different focuses, you can do what's best for the patient, but you can still make money. So don't be afraid of that. Third thing, Oh, another thing in there, optical. High-end frames, raised prices, second pair sales, sales training. My goodness, do we need sales training? The doctors need it, and you're like, I don't sell from the chair. Well, you are trying to get people to do your treatment plans. You're selling them in some way, shape, or form, right? Every single one in the office could benefit from sales training. We don't do it enough. That might be a podcast in itself. Increase the frequency in which we see a patient. I was talking to a patient today during IPL, small talk time, and she was talking how she had a dentist appointment for her kids, and she's like, you schedule this 6 months in advance, and I have 2 kids that see this dentist as a pediatric dentist. She goes, I can't get one to be seen within 2 to 3 weeks if I have to make a change, let alone 2. Like, if I make a change now, it's going to be 6 months until they get seen again. Dentists have this weird schedule building thing, and they see you twice a year. Why? Who knows? Great marketing, great business model. Okay? What can we do? Disease management, glaucoma. You have visual fields, OCTs, IOP checks, macular degeneration, OCTs, dilated fundus exams, photos. You can do more than just disease management, though. Think about this, like special sales. Do you run promotions for the summer? Do you run promotions for the winter? Back to school. What can you do to increase the opportunities for them to come and purchase from you? Don't get so dependent on managed care where if they don't have their benefits, they're not going to buy. Give them a reason to purchase. Give them something. Email marketing campaigns, email blasts. These things work. They resonate with patients. I've talked to offices where they do one big thing to get patients to come in, and it saves a whole month for them, right? You have to spend money to make money, but there are ways to get the patient in more frequently. You have to explore those things. All right, so I outlined all the good, all the ways we can make more money. Here is the problem. We have an unlimited number of options to make more money, but we have a very limited amount of resources to utilize these options, right? That is a problem that we face in this wonderful profession of optometry. 1 million options, very limited resources, okay? Now, the bigger you get, the more people you have, the more staff, departments, managers, etc., you can grow that. But I'm guessing the majority of people that are listening to this podcast have one office or are aspiring to have an office. That's in my mind when I'm talking to my target demographic. That's who I'm speaking to. I don't think many of you have multiple offices or multiple doctors. I don't give a lot of information, I believe, that resonates to that. Give me a year or 2. Right? As I grow, this podcast grows. And I will always remember where I came from, how I started, because I want you to get to where I'm at quicker and more efficiently. Stand on the shoulders of giants. Not calling myself a giant, but you get the metaphor. We all get better when we help each other out. So let's get back to this limited resources idea. I like to use the term bandwidth. I myself have so much bandwidth. My staff has so much bandwidth. If you've ever talked to a patient at the end of an exam, you know their bandwidth is minimal at best. You get them to remember one thing and you've done great. 2 or 3, you're a miracle worker. I want to know what you're doing. Send me a message. How do you get a patient to know more than one thing at the end of the exam? Honestly, other than, is this covered by my insurance? That's the one thing they want to know and remember to ask. Okay? The other thing that happens with this is, with your staff, with a bunch of different messages, focuses, your staff doesn't know how to promote your office. Are we on myopia management this month, boss, or is it specialty contacts? Last week you said vision therapy was the future, and now we're doing something new. We got to sell a lot of high-end frames. Nope, now it's a volume game. Make sure you make the sale on the low-end frames. I don't know what we're doing. Do you know what you're doing? One of my best friends is in a big company. They're national, and he's the chief operating officer. And he's talking to me about the CEO. And one of the things that he said was, the CEO will look at other companies, look at other things going on, and he will instantly say, they're doing this, I want to be better than them, we're going to be the best. And then he sees something else new and shiny, and he's going to do that and be the best at it. And he just jumps from thing to thing to thing. And he says, as an operations guy, when he's talking to the rest of the company, it's really difficult when every time the CEO sees something new, that's his focus. There's not a lot of vision. There's not a lot of direction. There's a lot of fires that they have to manage. I think us as practice owners, when we're listening to podcasts, if you're one of the people that's consuming this content, I guarantee you're listening to 2 or 3 more podcasts. It doesn't have to be about optometry, but it's about business. It's about bettering yourself. You're reading books. You're reading magazines. You're reading articles. You're looking for the next thing to make your office better. Well, the problem with us doing that is we get so stinking excited. We're that CEO that's chasing the shiny objects. We have to think about the messages that are going to grow our business, right? What are your core principles? What resonates with your patient? I might be the only one, but I don't believe I am. When I see a patient, I go through the exam. I tell them, what I'm looking at the exam. I tell them I see something that concerns me about their dry eye. And we're going to see them back after they do the home therapy and see how they're doing. I kid you not. I want to say half the time, the patient will show up for their follow-up and they don't know why they're there. They think they're going to look at their glasses again or whatnot. And I have no clue how this happens. I sit and talk to them about their dry eye, the issue, the home therapy. I give them a sheet. I then have them talk to a dry eye counselor. They talk about everything I talked about. They make the appointment and they forget why they're coming back. Infuriating. Okay? There's only so much bandwidth that a patient can handle. One of the things that I've noticed is the categories I see it as, they're going to fall into a disease bucket, glaucoma, mac degen, dry eye. And within that, or they're going to be totally healthy and they need glasses or they need contacts. We can talk about lutein, we can talk about omega-3s, we can talk about lid hygiene, warm compresses, drops. You can pick maybe one of those. The patient needs every single one half the time, right? Hey, you're at risk for macular degeneration. You should be on a lutein supplement. Your eyes are dry. Omega-3s are the supplement I recommend for that. Again, pick your poison on what you're recommending for supplements. Or, you know what? Your eyes are irritated. You have blepharitis. Now I'm doing a mental math. Do I talk about the lutein or I talk about their lid hygiene? What's going to resonate more with this patient? I'm honestly picking and choosing my battles. I'm getting better at it, but what I'm saying is this process that I'm doing in the exam room, we need to do for our offices. Okay? We need to manage the expectations of the staff and of the patients. What are they going to get when they come in? What are the messages that you're putting out there to make your mission, your vision happen? Remember, we need to see more patients, increase the purchase amount, or get them to purchase more frequently. What are you going to focus on? Okay? How do you solve this problem? 3 ways, and we're going to expand on this in the next few podcasts. But number 1, you need a vision and clear messaging. This starts with us. Where do we see the office going in the next year? 3 years, 5 years, 10. Okay? Where are you going to lead the office? And with that vision, what is the messaging you want to put out there? You need to keep it simple. You need to keep it short and sweet. All right? Number 2, we sell what we believe in. Do you know what you actually believe in? Or are you always regurgitating the new shiny thing in optometry? Oh, we're talking about myopia management today. Hey, I've heard a lot about autologous serum. Amniotic membranes are the rage. Hey, the new Verilux XR lens. That's awesome. What are you talking about? What do you believe in? What do you tell your patients about? Do you track this? We're going to talk about this in the future episodes, but do you look at your sales of supplements, of dry eye products, of whatever you're selling in the office? Do you ever notice that what you talk about moves? I kid you not. I did this with when I was selling Mackie Health. We use Vision Elements now. It's cleaner, no soy. I like the company. I talk about it, it moves. I talk about masks. I talk about Avanova. They move. I can't talk about everything. Seriously, your patient doesn't have the bandwidth. You don't have the bandwidth. You can't consistently do this. What are you selling? What do you believe in? I think when you answer that question, you'll know where you're going to lead the office. Right? If you talked about it for a little bit, you got some pushback, and you stopped talking about it, did you really believe in it? Or do you think it was going to be easy? Spoiler alert, it's not easy. And number 3, whatever that niche, whatever that is, whatever that specialty is, you need to go all in. All right, what is your brand? Don't dabble, know and grow. All right, next few episodes, we're going to delve in much deeper into those specific things. But I've laid the groundwork for you. These are things you need to start thinking about to increase that bottom line. We want to be better at business. This is how you do it. We'll have more for you next week. Where, oh where has the time gone? We are to the closing thought of the episode, and today I will leave you with this. Indiscriminate action is lazy. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's a lot of big words. Please explain. So indiscriminate action, when you make yourself busy to be busy, to say, I'm doing something. One of the biggest arenas of indiscriminate action, I'm reading a lot about X, Y, or Z. Sometimes we read not with a purpose, but because it makes you look like you're doing something. Right? If you're reading or listening to podcasts and you're not changing your mind, you're not making a change because of that, are you really taking action, or are you filling your time merely to look like you're busy? Because you don't know what to do, so you take an indiscriminate action to fill the void. I heard this and mind blown, right? A lot of times I'll do something because it's busy work. It's busy time. I can justify in my head that I'm working at my practice, but at the end of the day, I don't know what my next move should be, so I fill the time with this. Are you doing the same thing? Let me know. That's what I have for you. Dr. Lily out.